Well, good afternoon. Welcome to our Christchurch. Well, it's sort of early spring, although it's not really. We've often done spring concerts before. It doesn't really count as spring outside looking at it. Welcome to our winter concert. We're really privileged to have Valentin with us this afternoon. We'll be hearing a live performance from Valentin, delivered from his house online in just a minute. My name's Dave Walker. I'm Vicar of Christchurch. We've been really privileged to have a range of concerts at Christchurch over the years. We love concerts at Christchurch. We believe our God is a great creator. He's made people in his image. And so human creativity is a wonderful and precious gift. And at the moment in lockdown, that seems more precious than ever, I think. So what a joy to have Valentin with us this morning. We've had Valentin perform at Christchurch a couple of times before, 2017 for our 150th anniversary, and then again in 2019. Both of those were really memorable occasions, and I hope this afternoon will be as well. Valentin has got a particular set of gifts, which is an amazing joy to watch in action. Obvious thing to say is, well, we're not gathered in the beautiful building at Christchurch that we would have been on previous occasions. We're missing that, and we're, well, it's like this, isn't it? We're functioning online. So one thing to say is that we as a church, we've been learning, like everybody else, a whole new way of communicating with each other. You notice that the concert is a fundraising concert. We've advertised it as such. It's free entry. There's no obligation on anybody to give. If you'd like to donate, the donations will be in aid of our tech fund. Really, what we've discovered at Christchurch is that functioning online has become completely central to the way we can serve people and help people as a church. And so we've been able to employ somebody called Kelly to enable us to do that. And our tech fund is about enabling that at the moment. We need to raise funds to allow that. And so that's what we're giving to. If you'd like to give to that, please do. It's used for all sorts of features of our ministry as a church. It's a great blessing to us. So thank you in advance. As we have our concert this afternoon, it's worth saying it is the internet and things can happen. And we've been having a few issues with Wi-Fi, with Valentin's connection on in the rehearsal just now. If there are some issues, please bear with us. It may be that the sound quality varies a bit here and there. It may be that it drops out even here and there, but bear with us because still there'll be plenty, which is, well, joyful, delightful, wonderful, I think, for all of us to enjoy. So I'm going to hand over to Valentin now. I'm not going to introduce him anymore, other than to say he's the one man I know who's won Eggheads on BBC Two. And for that reason alone, I respect him, as well as for the obvious piano playing gifts, which we're going to be enjoying now. So I'm going to hand over to Valentin, Valentin Schiedermair.
Many thanks, Dave, and many thanks to Juno, Kelly, and Will, who've organized, you could actually say masterminded, this concert. A big hello to everyone listening. I'm live streaming from my home in North London, but we have people tuning in from America, from Brazil, from Spain, from Germany, of course, my home country, from Austria, Switzerland, and even as far away as China, Taiwan, and Japan. I hope I haven't left anyone out, but I've had some lovely messages, so welcome to all of you. This concert is interactive, so you can post comments. Unlike a normal concert, that gives me a chance to find out how you're responding to the music, and I can also react then to your comments. The first piece you're hearing is a sarabande, a slow sarabande by Bach, which is immediately followed by a fast bourrée. The sarabande is quite a dreamy piece, and it always reminds me of a snowy landscape. I wonder what picture comes up in your mind when you listen to this. Post me a comment and we can discuss this a bit later. Somebody just asked me why it is called an English suite, not a French suite. And the reason is simply that this was commissioned by an Englishman. When Bach was still fairly young, he was about 29 or so when he wrote these so-called 6 English suites. But they're not really in an English style as such. They're more written in a combination of French and sometimes Italian style as well. But I thought it would be fitting, since I'm playing this from London, to begin with a piece of English music. Our next piece actually comes from Vienna, and my mother was born in Vienna. It's actually her birthday today, so this is a very small birthday tribute from her to her from me. It is the first movement of a sonata in F major by Mozart. To me, this piece sounds like a miniature opera, with characters coming and going, their change of sceneries, some dramatic incidents and so on. Mozart was the first to put female roles center stage, and you can clearly hear that in that sonata. A lot of the themes that he invents seem to depict female characters, and this is really quite fascinating. It's very different music from the Beethoven that you're hearing afterwards.
Valentin. Hi, sorry, Valentin, just before you get back in, could you turn down your input a little bit more? We've been struggling a little bit with distortion. So if you turn it down a little bit more, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Just done that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
That works better. Yeah. So here's the Mozart Sonata in F major, first movement. I just saw that comment that I love Mozart. It's hard not to love his music. And the question why he uses KV332 to name this beautiful piece of music is quite simply, he didn't actually himself. Somebody called Mr. Köchel made a list of his compositions because there's so many of them. There's 7 sonatas in F major as well, so you can identify them by their number. Now we are turning our attention to the Beethoven Moonlight Sonata. Now Beethoven turned 250 a couple of months ago. And this second part of the concert is a belated birthday tribute to him. The manuscript of the Moonlight Sonata is nowadays kept in the Beethoven archive in Bonn. You can actually see it online there as well. And if you look it up, actually, you won't even be able to read the notes because Beethoven's handwriting was incredibly messy. But it is in the Beethoven archive in Bonn, which my great-grandfather founded. He had the same first name as Beethoven, Ludwig. He was called Ludwig Schiedermair. And so, if you like, to me, the Beethoven Moonlight Sonata is a little bit of part of my family history. The Moonlight Sonata acquired its name only after Beethoven's death, when a famous poet wrote that the first movement reminded him of a graveyard lit by moonlight. I don't really quite see it the same way. To me, it's more an inner journey through darkness. Again, it would be interesting to find out what this conjures up in your mind. Post some comments and we'll discuss it later. Perhaps we can rename the Moonlight Sonata together. Many people think that the Moonlight Sonata is just the first movement, but there are 2 more movements. The second movement is a little dance, which becomes more rustic and gloomy in the middle section. The last movement is quite simply wild and crazy. Beethoven was the first rock star of music. All mad hair, broken strings and so on. But he was a rock star without an amplifier. So he had to do it all through the power of his music and his personality. The Moonlight Sonata was actually Beethoven's most famous piece during his lifetime. He got a bit annoyed about it because he didn't want it to define him as a composer. But it was a musical watershed because he turbocharged the style of Mozart, and the world of music never looked back. Thank you for that comment. It's an amazing piece, and I'm imagining that there's a live audience out there when I'm playing it, because in a way it does really need an audience, like we all do. The next few pieces you're hearing sorry, are actually all connected to the Moonlight Sonata. You could say they're all reactions by composers to this amazing piece. First up there is Shubert with an Impromptu in A flat major, and Shubert wrote this piece after he actually visited Beethoven on his deathbed. But don't worry, it's not really a gloomy piece at all as such. But in the middle section of this Impromptu, you can actually hear all the notes of the start of the Moonlight Sonata returning. But Shubert adds a really beautifully haunting melody, all of his own, to this Moonlight Sonata, and really gives it a completely new twist. Now, Shubert, of course, was an Austrian composer, and I do really love exploring the Austrian countryside. It's so varied and surprising in almost every step, and I feel this piece actually captures it perfectly. Oh, thank you very much. I have to admit that it's fun to read the comments because this is my substitute for applause. Lovely, that's really nice of you. Great. Thank you, Horia. That's very nice. Thank you so much. It's quite special to be able to play this to so many of you. And I hope that the internet connection is letting us down. Lovely. Now, I'll be moving on to the last two pieces, which are both by Chopin. First, we're hearing a Nocturne in D flat major, Opus 27, number 2. And in that lies a bit of a key, because when you look back at the Beethoven has the same opus number. And I think that this is a secret tribute by Chopin to Beethoven. First of all, he used the same opus number as the Munat Sonata. And then the first bar actually uses the same notes as the Moonlight Sonata as well. But he makes one key change. He changes the E to an F. And by that he changes the key from minor to major. So we're turning away from the gloom to a brighter, happier place, which is something we are all really wanting to do right now. So I hope you enjoy Chopin's Nocturne in D flat major. Oh, thank you for your lovely comments. Really nice to see them. Thank you so much. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. Oh, Tom, hello, yes. It's not an easy piece, that's very true, this Chopin D flat, but it is just amazing. I will be playing, in any case, for the final piece of my little program here, another composition by Chopin, and it is one of his most famous. It's the Minute Waltz, but believe it or not, he has again used the opening notes of the Nocturne in the left hand this time for this piece, and so it's a little bit of a tribute as well to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. This is actually one of the very last pieces Chopin wrote. A few months later, the only photograph of Chopin was taken, and although he posed for it, he still actually looks really ill and unhappy. It's really surprising that he managed to still write music which on the surface at least sounds playful and happy. Personally, I don't think with this Minute Waltz he set out to write a virtuoso piece, and I feel it's actually quite wistful and sophisticated as well as playful. And in the middle section he has a nostalgic brief look back at his life, which I think he must have felt was coming to an end, but he decides that after all it was a game worth playing, so the opening of the waltz returns and there is a happy ending. Thank you very much. Thank you, that's great. Okay, I will play you another piece, I would say, but I think Dave wanted to say something for a moment.
Hi. So yes, I mean, I'm just here to say thank you very, very much. Thanks directed in various directions. Obviously, thank you to Valentin. Thank you for providing us with this performance, for letting us in on, well, not just in your into your house, but also into this, giving this window into, well, your gifts, but also the lives of these composers as we hear their music played for us. Thank you so much for that. It's been such a blessing to us. It's a huge privilege to us. Apologies. Thank you as well to everybody who's been joining in. It's been really lovely to see so many people leaving comments and well, just the numbers that have been there on the YouTube feeds and things of how many viewers we've had. I'm not quite sure what the total number is, but it's well, I was seeing 143 or something on YouTube not long back. So we've had a lot of viewers from a wide area. So thank you so much for coming and joining in. It's brilliant to have people joining in like this. Just to say, as we said at the beginning, this is Valentin's provided this for us for free, so we're very thankful to you, Valentin, for that. All donations made are voluntary for this thing called the Christchurch Tech Fund, which is enabling us as a church to connect with people online in various ways, because that's the best way at the moment, where we're able to relate to people and connect with people and support people and help people. So if you'd like to give to that, please do. Please also remember, we at Christchurch are here every Sunday at 10:30. We're live on stream just here in the same channel that you've found us on Facebook or on YouTube. You'll find us there every given Sunday at 10:30. We'd love to be a blessing to you. It's a loving church family to be part of, even in this scattered lockdown scenario. And it's an open family, and you'd be very interested. You'd be very blessed, very welcome to come and join in with us if you're interested to do so. But now we've had various calls for an encore, and so it's only right that I hand over to finish the concert to Valentin, and then after this the live stream will end. So over to you, Valentin. Thank you very much once more.
Thank you very much, Dave. This is my first live stream concert, and you never happen. So in the middle of the minute waltz, my doorbell actually rang, and for a moment I was worried it might be the police to check what's going on, because there's actually a sign on my door saying not to ring the doorbell. But they seem to have gone away, which is great. But I'll play one more piece. It's by Chopin, and it's an etude in A-flat major. And he wrote this piece and dedicated it to a very beautiful lady who was his friend Liszt's girlfriend. And she was very famous for her long, flowing hair. And you can hear that in this piece.
Thank you all very much. Thank you.